I was right in the middle of asking for a raise when my boss looked directly over my shoulder and started waving at someone in the hallway, as if I wasn't even in the room. I stood there with my list of accomplishments and my quarterly metrics in my hand, feeling the words die in my throat as he completely ignored the fact that I was in the middle of a sentence. He didn't even apologize or ask me to wait. He just stood up and walked toward the door to talk to a colleague about their upcoming golf trip, leaving me standing in front of his mahogany desk like a piece of furniture. It was a level of disrespect that made me realize my value to this company was zero in his eyes. My boss, Mr. Sterling, was a man who only cared about people who could help him move up the corporate ladder, or people who shared his expensive hobbies. I had been the most consistent employee in the department for 3 years, taking on extra shifts and managing the difficult clients that no one else wanted to deal with. I had prepared for this meeting for weeks, rehearsing my talking points and gathering the data to prove that my salary was significantly below the industry standard for my role. Seeing him dismiss my entire existence for a conversation about a golf score was the moment I realized that I would never get what I deserved as long as he was the one in charge. I stood there for 3 full minutes, listening to him laugh and make plans for the weekend, before I finally decided that I wasn't going to wait for him to remember I was there. I walked to the door and stood in his line of sight, waiting for him to stop talking so I could finish what I started. He looked at me with a look of pure annoyance as if I were a servant who had interrupted a royal banquet, and told me that he was busy and that we would have to reschedule our little chat for some other time. He actually told me that my raise wasn't a priority right now, because the company was looking to cut costs in the lower-level departments. Actually, Mr. Sterling, I'm not rescheduling, I said, my voice sounding much stronger than I felt in that moment. I set my resignation letter on the edge of the hallway table and told him that if the company was looking to cut costs, they could start by not paying for my services anymore. The look of shock on his face was worth the loss of the steady paycheck, and for the first time in 3 years, I felt like I was the one in control of the conversation. He tried to backtrack, telling me that I was being impulsive and that we could talk about a small bonus instead, but I didn't even pause as I walked toward the elevator. I had already been interviewing with a competitor for weeks, and they had offered me a position with a 20% increase in pay and a title that actually reflected my responsibilities. I had been holding out hope that Sterling would recognize my loyalty, but his behavior in that office was the final push I needed to choose myself over a company that didn't see me. I spent my final 2 weeks doing exactly what was required of me and nothing more, and I watched as the department started to struggle because no one else knew how to handle the clients I had been managing for years. Sterling tried to offer me the raise on my last day, but I just handed him the keys to the office and told him to have a great time on the golf course. I learned that you can't force someone to respect you, but you can definitely make them regret the day they decided to ignore you. My new job is a completely different world where my manager actually looks me in the eye when I speak and values the work I put in every day. I still have the list of accomplishments I tried to show Sterling, but now I use it as a reminder of how much I've grown and how far I've